softball. Hope y'all are doing well. Hope you've been consistent about doing the exercises. The exercises are very simple. They don't take a lot of time to complete, but the key is you need to do them consistently. Several times a week, a couple of minutes a day. You can even do them multiple times a day if you like. Over time, you will start to see improvement. Typically, when you do any kind of activity, we say minimum 4 weeks, but roughly about 6 weeks is where we start to see significant change. So stick with the program, trust the program, and I'm sure we'll see some improvement. So today, Sam's going to show you some exercises that I showed you last time, but they were just not on the video. And so we're going to add those on there. And plus, we've added a few more exercises that will really stabilize your core, stabilize your shoulders, and also make these exercises a little bit more challenging. So the key here is you may find some exercises that are easy to do. I do want you doing those. And you may find some that are very challenging. I want you to do those as well. So part of what we're doing is we're enhancing that brain muscle connection. So doing the easy one actually helps train your body to say, hey, this is how I want you to move. The more difficult ones may be signs of hip tightness or muscle tightness, wherever it may be, but it also means you do need to continue doing them. If you have trouble with any of these exercises or these exercises cause pain, let us know which exercise causes the pain, and then we can make modifications to those exercises. Other thing, make sure you're doing your hand strengthening. Of all these things, yes, the pelvic rotation, pelvic tilt, all these things are important, but one area that I want to see significant improvement is the grip strength. Your grip strength is so crucial, it's underlooked, and I think it'll pay dividends in the long run. Thank you again. We appreciate you all allowing us to work with you. Be good about doing the exercises. In about 2 more weeks, we may add a few more. Thanks. So this one here is the plank stork. So similar to the stork that we did standing, you're gonna do it in a plank position, one leg at a time, and you're gonna work on the pelvic rotation of those hips, all right? And do the other side. So switch sides, take a break as needed. And you can modify this. You can start hips high, depending on how well you can tolerate it, and then work to a more parallel stance of the shoulders, hips, as well as the ankles. And you can see we're stabilizing the shoulders and getting good pelvic rotation. So here's another version of the pelvic plank stork, And so you can use the edge of the table. And again, what we're doing is stabilizing the shoulders. And we're getting pelvic rotation. And you can do it nice and slow to really feel that separation and feel the stretch. But you can also do it quickly, like 3 times in a row, like a quick firing of the hips. And then the other side. Again, you can do it slowly. And you can adjust your foot to where your foot is a little further back, which makes it more challenging. Again, you're stabilizing the shoulders, getting that pelvic rotation, and then you can do it slow. You can also do it quickly. If you do it quickly, kind of 3 times in a row, relax, and good. So this next one is the chair hip tucks. So what you're gonna do is find a slightly elevated surface for your hands, and then we're gonna do the pelvic tilt again. And what we're doing is we're really practicing that pelvic tilt, and we're doing it in different planes, some where we have more core activation, some we work on a little shoulder stabilization. But we want you to be able to do that pelvic tilt in all planes. So this next one is split stance hip tucks. She's using a little support there to maintain her balance. Her knees are at 90-90. And the pelvic tilt that we do standing, as you can see, she's doing it in a split kneel position. And what we're doing, and what you may find, is that one glute may activate more than the other, or one side you may have more mobility. The other thing is if you have tight hip flexors, this is a nice stretch to loosen up those hip flexors. So arch and then tuck. So this next one is what we call the open book. So you're going to be laying on your side, your knees bent, and you're going to keep your lower body stable. And you're going to open up that thoracic spine and get a nice little stretch at the end. Make sure you exhale. What you may find is that some people, when they do this, their knee will lift up a little bit. So what you can do is that bottom hand, stabilize, and then continue with the open book. And then you'll feel a nice little stretch in that thoracic region down to the hip. And we call this one open book. So this next one is what we call windshield wipers. You're going to be in the supine position with knees bent, feet flat on the ground. And what you're going to do is you bring your knees down to one side as far as you can go. Feel a nice little stretch. And this is working on lower torso separation from the upper torso. When you go, make sure those shoulders remain flat. Sometimes you will feel a little pulling as the knees go down on that opposite side, but do your best to keep the shoulders flat on the table. Exhale on the way down. Inhale, exhale. Really get a good stretch in there. This next exercise is what we call ankle knee circles. This one helps with mobility of the ankles. It's also a great one to warm up the knees. Go reverse direction. So you'll do one way for 30 seconds, and then you'll do the other way for 30 seconds. It's a nice way to loosen up the ankles and loosen up the knees.